Ever feel like your brain is sabotaging your relationships? What if I told you just a few behaviors and traits of ADHD can cause 90% of your relationship problems? Today, I'm diving into how ADHD can impact our relationships and how understanding our unique brain wiring can help ease misunderstandings and pain. ADHD isn't just about distracted and forgetful. It shapes the way we connect, communicate, and handle emotions. In this video, we're shifting the perspective from frustration to understanding. Because once you learn about the things we do and why we do them, everything starts to make sense. Whether you have ADHD or love someone who does, you'll walk away with a new lens on 3 key struggles that can make or break relationships and how to turn them from a source of pain to a source of connection. Let's get into it. Part 1. Obsessions and ruminations. Picture this. You meet someone at work and you hit it off. At first, everything is light and exciting. But fast forward a few weeks and suddenly you're replaying every conversation in your head. You start comparing yourself with that person, thinking about what every little interaction you have with them means, and even try to guess what they might be feeling. And this is not just about romantic crushes. It happens in all kinds of relationships. A friend not texting you back can send you in the same loop, making you question if you did something wrong. Now, while you're completely stuck in those thoughts, the person you're obsessed with usually doesn't even know what's happening inside your head. But one thing I've noticed is that I often start talking about those thoughts out loud to the people who are close to me. For example, I might mention someone I admire at work or in another context repeatedly to my partner. It may at first seem harmless, but when your partner, friend, or whoever you're talking to hears this repeatedly, it could lead to feelings of neglect and even jealousy. So why does this happen to us? Our ADHD brain actually gets caught up in repetitive loops of thoughts. And the part of our brain that should help us shift our focus from those thoughts to living our life isn't as effective as it is in neurotypical people. So what happens is that intrusive, often negative thoughts keep making their way into our conscious mind without our ability to stop them at the door. These are called ruminations, and they're at the root of every obsession. Add in our heightened emotional sensitivity and sometimes even rejection sensitivity, and it becomes easy to get stuck on these thoughts for days, weeks, or even months. So what's the takeaway? These thoughts are normal in ADHDers. And the great thing is they will go away eventually. ADHDers just have more trouble stopping this obsessive cycle and moving on. What you need to understand is that usually people with ADHD feel powerless towards those obsessions. And trying to resist them usually only makes them worse. But when we finally manage to let them go, it's like the obsession never even existed. Recognizing and accepting this behavior can shift the conversation from "why can't you stop obsessing over this?" to "how can we better understand and manage those thoughts?" Let me know down in the comments if you'd like a full video on this, because it's a fascinating and complex topic that I'd love to dive deeper into. If you like this video so far, then please share with someone you love who might be affected by those behaviors. I'm sure they will be grateful for it, and maybe your relationship will improve thanks to this video. Part 2. Communication challenges. We all know that clear communication is the backbone of any healthy relationship. But ADHD can really complicate this. Imagine your partner is sharing details about their day, and you're trying really hard to listen, but suddenly your mind wanders off. Maybe to an upcoming deadline or an unrelated thought, and you've just missed half the conversation. When you finally come back from your daydream, your partner might feel ignored or undervalued, like you don't care about them. Sometimes it's not even about missing important details. It's about the way these thought loops and ruminations shape our interactions. For example, if I'm caught up obsessing over a particular thought or event, I might inadvertently dominate conversations by bringing it up constantly, and even cut off the person I'm talking to mid-sentence to express what I have on my mind. This can make my partner or friend feel like I'm not fully present with them, or even that I am being disrespectful or selfish. Also, try to imagine what a conversation looks like when 2 people have ADHD. It can quickly turn into a disconnected ping pong where each person is talking about what they have in mind without really listening to the other person. What we need to understand is that those interactions are not a sign that the ADHD person doesn't care. Often, ADHDers will be ashamed of their mind wandering and for not being able to show up the way their loved ones would like them to. When we are aware of those ADHD tendencies of mind wandering triggering impulsivity and lack of regulation, both parties can work on strategies to improve communication. Small adjustments and addressing those challenges out loud can make a big difference in approaching conversation in a caring and supportive way rather than in a fearful and judgmental one. Part 3. Emotional regulation. For many of us with ADHD, emotions come at full force. Sometimes it really feels like we're on an emotional roller coaster. A minor disagreement about something like household chores can suddenly spiral into a full-blown anger outburst. Even a compliment can trigger an intense emotional reaction from someone who has ADHD that the other person giving the compliment would have never expected. To the people we love, those reactions can seem like overreacting. But inside, those feelings are incredibly intense and hard to manage. When emotions hit like this, it's easy for our partners or friends to feel confused and overwhelmed. They might think we're being extra dramatic or not handling things well. But what's really happening is that our brain's emotional regulation system is having trouble keeping up with our rapid-fire thoughts and feelings. We have trouble identifying our emotions, processing them, and then acting on them before it's too late. We're easily activated because we have trouble managing impulses and regulating our reaction to external stimuli. Internally, it feels like a huge wave is rising and crashing down violently, without us being able to control the wave or its intensity. We deeply feel this intensity of emotions through our body too. Often, what happens is that our heart rate skyrockets and we feel like we're literally about to explode. It's incredibly frustrating for the person who has ADHD, and it's potentially incomprehensible to someone who doesn't know what's going on inside us. Understanding our difficulties with emotional regulation helps us reframe the issue. It's not that we don't care or that we're intentionally causing drama. It's just that our emotional system is wired differently and that it's difficult for us to process our emotions in time before they overflow. Recognizing this can lead to more empathy on both sides and open the door to strategies that help manage these intense feelings more effectively. To wrap up, today we've talked about how ADHD can impact relationships in 3 major ways: obsessions and ruminations, communication challenges, and emotional regulation issues. The one key takeaway here is that our behavior is not due to a lack of care, interest, or effort. They're simply due to how our brain works. By understanding these aspects of our ADHD, we can shift from blame to curiosity and from frustration to practical solutions. This video is just the beginning. I plan to dive deeper in each of those themes if you're interested to explore together the intricacies of ADHD and relationships. Please let me know down in the comments about the struggles you've had in your own relationships, and don't forget to like and share the video if it was helpful to you. Thank you, and see you in the next one.